Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Samantha.
And together we run the T&Coffee Trans Network.
T&Coffee is a network which provides alcohol-free, safe spaces for trans and gender-diverse people. And we're here today for Trans Day of Remembrance to explain why that still needs to happen.
So every year we get together as a community to remember the enormous number of transgender and gender-diverse people that we have lost throughout the year around the world. And every year that number keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Because the reality is that trans and gender diverse people are not just being killed directly, murdered, but are being driven to suicide, are being driven to self-harm and self-destruction.
Yeah. We've had calls as part of the work that we do relating to people that are alone. They're trans and they're alone and they don't have any help and they don't have any support. They don't have the community that some of us have managed to make for ourselves to find that support, because that's what we need. We don't have a whole network of everything that's just ready there for the taking. We have to help each other.
We do have to support each other, and that's all of us. It's not just trans people helping one another, it's all of us working together as a real community. Let's be honest, it's not an awful lot to ask, is it? Stop being horrible. Let's not overcomplicate it. This is what happens. People overcomplicate it. They come up with these wonderful new words, transphobic this or whatever it might be. Stop hiding behind phobias. Stop talking out of your backsides and trying to find excuses for hate. It's not a lot to ask. Stop killing trans people.
And it's not just people dying, but it's people suffering. There are so many people out there. They don't have families like we do that support us and enable us to be able to be who we are. They suffer alone in silence and they don't have anyone. So people like us at Tea and Coffee try and do what we can to provide that support. But it gets harder and harder because we can't reach everyone.
It doesn't. It gets harder and harder each year. That number, as you say, keeps growing. Hopefully there will come a day where we won't need to provide specific trans safe spaces. But until that day comes, we will keep doing it because we do need to have spaces for people to go. You're sitting there in the audience. I know if you're trans, you already know this. If you're gender diverse, you already know this. If you're sitting there in the audience not knowing what this is about, just imagine having to have specific places you go to feel safe. Not being able to just go to the shop, the pub, wherever it might be, without fear of someone physically, verbally, other ways, just generally attacking and harassing you. Just think about that for a second. Because I really do hope, genuinely, I really do hope at the bottom of my heart that one day we won't have to keep doing this.
And if you're perhaps a young trans man, trans masculine, non-binary trans masculine person out there, you're not on your own. It is difficult. I know that there is a lot of talk within the media that specifically targets young trans men, misgendering and saying horrible things about your body that simply isn't true. Keep going, because it is worth it. You will get there, and you will look back and you will know that whatever they said, it doesn't matter.
No, you're right, though. It doesn't matter, because the reality is the only person who knows who you are is you. You don't have to be told by anybody else on this planet who you are. You don't have to be told if you're left-handed or right-handed. You just figure it out. You know if you're trans. And if you know that you're trans, then why does anybody else have a say in it? Least of all, why does anybody else have any reason to hate you for just being who you are? So you're right, it doesn't matter.
No. But there are people out there that can help you. There is a community out there. And if you're, part of the elder community, part of the people that transitioned a long time ago, if there's people that you know that are just fresh out, check on them. Make sure that they're okay, because they might be having a really hard time and really struggling with everything that's going on around us. Just make sure that they're okay and that they know that they've got someone that they can talk to if they need to.
Absolutely. The last year, 18 months have been insanely difficult with so much isolation. So many people losing contact with their friends and families, not able to attend the big pride events that we're all used to. But you know what? Trans lives exist every single day of the year. I know this is the end of Trans Awareness Week, but We were quite aware of being trans long before this week started, and we will still be aware of it long after. So please do talk to your friends, your trans friends. Reach out to communities like the T&Coffee Network or My Umbrella. There are amazing communities out there that are prepared to help you and that will be a support. And in the meantime, if you're not trans and you're watching this, please, just be kind. It's really not that complicated.
Right.
There's one thing I wanted to say.
Okay, go on then.
Actually, that I sat in a similar situation in front of a camera this time 2 years ago. I did the same thing a year ago. In fact, I've done the same thing for quite a few years now. I really genuinely hope that this is the last time we have to ask, please, just be kind.